We're back, baby. Hello, my friends, and happy Tuesday from me and my cat. This is Aslan, or at least the top of his head, and he says hello, as do I. I'm so incredibly excited to be back and filming another reading vlog. I literally, cannot put my thoughts into words about how excited I am because of how excited I am. This is only the technical second book that I have picked up since coming back from my reading slump 100-fold, and I am very much enjoying myself. Now, because I am literally coming back from my reading slump, I am kind of stumped on what to make reading vlogs about a little bit, because I used to be so big on theme and we're reading fantasy, we're reading romance for February, and all of these things that I feel like I had structure for, and now I'm not giving myself that structure because I want to keep enjoying reading and I'm not trying to put pressure on it. So we're kind of just here and I'm kind of just going with the flow. So I figured, what better way to flow my flow with you and flow with you than to do a read with me for a week vlog, because that's fun, and I don't think I've ever done one well. I don't think I've done one well. And honestly, I can't even say if this one's good because it is Tuesday and we're talking for the first time. Yesterday didn't count. It didn't count, okay? But nonetheless, I am very excited to jump back into the wonderful world of reading with you all. As I've stated, this is my current read. This is Nightbane by Alex Astor, which is the second book in the Lightlark series. I really do not remember a lot of the books that I read last year, or a lot of what I was reading in general leading up to my book slump, because I think my brain just wasn't in it, if that makes sense. So while I do remember 100% liking Lightlark on my second read through, by the way, I couldn't remember all of the end details of what happened. So before I picked up Nightbane, I really quickly went back and reread the last 2 chapters just to figure out where we stood, and I remembered everything else, and everything is cool, and that is why we are reading Nightbane, is because I remember, and I'm like, oh my god, that's right, it ended like that, I need to know what happens, and was so excited about it and everything. But I am 100 pages into this book, and honestly, the only thing that's really standing out to me is the fact that our main character is just complaining, which feels so bad to say because I want to be enjoying the book and I don't want to be complaining about the fact that she's complaining. But that's really what it feels like to me right now. With the way that book 1 ended, we were going into book 2 with a very much shift in power for all of our main characters, but most especially the one perspective that we're following, it's 100% changing, right? But she is having so much self-pity over it that it's kind of blowing my mind. Now, don't get me wrong, I would not want to be in her position either, especially because I think she's around the same age as I am. I wouldn't want to be in that position, but she was raised to be in the position that she's in, even though her upbringing was really terrible, but still, she was put into this world for the main purpose of doing what she's like, I don't want to do it. It is honestly kind of bothersome to me that she's like that, because that's all that I can focus on. Other than the fact that we're kind of progressing, but also not really. Actually, there's really not a lot going on. Maybe that's why I'm so hyper focused on the fact that she is complaining and being critical and just an overall not great person. I don't know. But I'm saying all of that, and I'm still willingly reading this. I would pick up anything else if I wanted to, but I don't. I want to finish this. I am genuinely curious to see what's going to happen. I think I'm curious. I'm not. The ball's in the air. I don't actually know what court it's in. It might be in this court, might be in my court. I don't know. But whatever court it's in, I kind of want to figure that out. And I think the only way to figure that out is to continue reading, which I'm going to do right now. I think it just hit 10 p.m., so it's not super duper late for me, but I should probably get to bed at a decent time. So we'll see how long we're going to read for. I don't know, but I am excited to see where we're going to go in here and what's going to happen. So why don't we jump into doing that rather than just talking about it? What a concept. Alrighty, I am now on page 140, and I just realized we never talked about the romance in this book. Honestly, it plays a massive part in the plot right now, or at least I feel like it does, because that's the majority of what we're talking about. All the freaking time is the romance in this book. As to not spoil anything, but give like a little recap in the romance department, can I do my job, please? I apologize for my cat's actions, but as I was trying to say, without spoiling anything, the little like mini recap I can give is that in book 1, our main character was obsessed with one person, and then it shifted at the end of book 1 and completely changed by the time we started book 2. And book 1 has a trope that I love, which is enemies to lovers. I'm an enemies to lovers fanatic. Like, I love it so much, especially when it's like actually enemies to lovers. And book 1 had a special little twist at the end with the enemies to lovers that I wanted them to work it out so bad. I still want them to work it out. And I think that's important because in here, they ain't working out. They're not working anything out. We are completely focused on an entirely different person in here, which it's fine. Like, I'm not overly upset about it. I mean, I was giggling. I was enjoying myself there because the other main male character he's a sweetheart. There's nothing wrong with him. He doesn't give me the same pizzazz as the other one, okay? Which I'm now realizing sounds really, really mean. Like, I don't hate them together. Like, it would make sense too, you know? It's one of those, this is gonna sound so weird, but it's one of those moments where like most like, maybe you all just date. Solve it that way, you know? Little polyamorous relationship. Never hurt anybody. Because if I really looked at it at like the bigger picture of the romance, both of the men are good for her for one reason or another, but they're for different reasons. And I don't know. But that's kind of where I'm sitting right now, with that whole thing. And it truly is like a massive part of what we're talking about. So, you know, just some more brain blobbing for you. But I still want to read this book. It's only been like about an hour. Whoa, I read that much in an hour? So I'm gonna continue reading it. I also did just pull my iPad out really quickly to see if I could get it on Kindle Unlimited, and I couldn't, but my library actually has it through Libby, where I can download it onto my Kindle, so I did just borrow it in case I want to read it on my Kindle. Although my Kindle isn't connecting to the Wi-Fi, so I would read it on here on the Kindle app. But either way, I also have that now in case I decide I don't want to be in the bright lights anymore. But for right now, I'm gonna keep reading the physical copy because I'm having fun flipping the pages. Um, no pun intended. Wow. But I'm gonna dive back into this. It looks like we're going straight back into the romance, which is fun because we're having more developments in that too. Like, they were dancing around it for a while and now they're not dancing. I mean, they are, but in a different way. I don't know. I'm just things are happening. I'm gonna go find out more about what other things are going to take place, and hopefully we get like an actual plot here. Because right now, there's actually not a plot. There's not a plot. This just feels like a lot of filler. This feels like what I think a fan fiction would be like. I've never read a fanfic in my life, but this feels like what I think a fanfic would be like, where it's literally, it could just be a romance book, like not even a fantasy. I don't know, like there's no action, and I love action in my fantasies. But I'm gonna stop yapping and start chugging along in this because I want to be done. I'm like, it's not in a bad way. I want to know so much. Like, I want done. So, I'm gonna go work on making that happen and jump back into Nightbane. Hello everybody, happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday. Funnily enough, it is the Wednesday of New Year's Eve. Like, it's literally New Year's Eve in like 3 hours, 2 hours ish. It's going to be 2026, and I have decided that this is how I'm going to spend going into the new year, and that was after much debate because there are so many other things that I could be doing and that I wanted to do, like at first, but no. Nightbane by Alex Astor has me by the literal, like, it's, for really bad phrasing, it's got me by the balls, dude. It's got me by the balls. Whoa, what's up with this light glare? That's fun. Let's not deal with that. Literally right after I said to you guys last night, I really hope it picks up the pace and all of that. because it feels like there's no plot right now. The plot came back, and the plot, oh my goodness. The plot came back so hard that I was up reading until 1:30 in the morning. 1:30. And then I sat in bed trying to sleep. So laid in bed trying to sleep for 2.5 hours. Because I was just thinking about this book. And I really realistically could have woken up to probably finish the book, because according to the copy that I was reading on Kindle Unlimited on my iPad, I only have 3.5 hours left. But like, I didn't want to, right? I want to savor it still. I also didn't want to get stuck in the rock and the hard place where I finish Nightbane and then immediately need to go into Skyshade. But that might be what happens tonight. I don't know. Either way, all I know is that we are going to continue reading Nightbane, and as long as it keeps going in the same plot progression and like pace that it's doing right now, I think we're gonna finish it tonight. Is that 50% of the book? Yes, it is. It is in fact 50% of the book. Do I care? No, it is 9:20, and I am a girl who is going to put on the book playlist and have a little dream and spend New Year's Eve reading Nightbane. Like, I seriously cannot put into words how excited I am to dive back into Nightbane. There's really not much more to say other than plot is finally plotting, and I want to continue. So, for the third night in a row, we're gonna go read Nightbane, and this is gonna be so fun because we get to pick a new book as we go into the new year, and I'm thrilled, overjoyed, absolutely, quivering in my pants. That sounds weird, I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop talking and I'm gonna start reading, because this isn't working, but these do. So let's use the sense that's actually working right now. Have I mentioned I love enemies to lovers? I love enemies to lovers. Okay, I have officially been reading for an hour and 40 minutes, and I am on page... I forgot. Hold on. I am on page 302, which is exactly 101 pages from me finishing the book, which I am still planning on doing, but I severely misestimated how long or how short reading took. I don't know, but it's not, the pieces aren't fitting in my brain with the fact that I'm still reading, and 3.5 hours isn't the same when it's only been an hour and 40. Like, it makes sense, but it doesn't, you know what I mean? I hope it makes sense. Our plot is still progressing. We are still doing all of the things. I am just now realizing, though, since we only have 100 pages left, I have a feeling that the rest of this book is going to be preparations for the big scary thing that's coming, like the big plot drop we got probably like 100 pages ago at this point. So I have a feeling it's all gonna be preparation, and it's gonna leave me on a cliffhanger of that big thing either starting or like an information lore drop that's going to be important to the final, or the big thing we're leading up to, you know what I mean? I think the best way I can describe this is that this book is kind of reminding me of Iron Flame, where they're just talking about war preparation, like the entire book essentially. Like, we really don't learn much than that. It's just a training arc, and that's kind of what this feels like. Not to say that a war does happen in here, because I'm not spoiling anything if it does or doesn't happen, but it's just like same vibe is kind of what my point was. But 100 pages left, and I'm officially moving to reading it on my Kindle app thingy. Why? Because I am tired of holding open that book, and no, I'm not kidding, that is seriously why I'm switching over. I've been holding it the whole time, and the insides of my like hands are officially like suffering, because I've reached the point where it's not the middle of the book anymore, and like more pages are on the left side, and I hold it with my left hand and it feels weird, and I try holding it with my right and that feels weird, and I've been doing that for the past like probably hour, and I'm over it. So I'm bringing out my friend. But my Kindle says we have 2 hours left of the book, which means I would be finishing at 1 o'clock in the morning. I hope I can get it done before then, but I am 100% finishing it tonight. It's happening because I want to be done at this point, you know? And not even in like a negative way. I just need to know what happens. I want to read. I just want to read, honestly, is what it can be summed down to. But I'm going to keep all the lights on for right now, even though I'm going to be reading on this, because I don't want to fall asleep. I'm not tired, but I can feel it like little bit starting to creep in, and I don't want to fall asleep. So, lights are staying on. I'm going to go ahead and continue to read Lightlark, if anything, not Lightlark, what? Nightbane, Lightlark book 2, and if anything crazy happens, I will obviously let you know. But nothing that crazy has happened. At least not right now. I guess the only thing to note is that we are getting more flashbacks of her and man number 1 from book 1, and my god, I'm rooting for him. I am. I really don't like our second man that much anymore. He's kind of pissing me off. In the beginning of the book, he was like, I hate fireworks. He was like, you should get drawn and train, and now that she's training and getting drawn and learning her own methods of training, man is mad. And it's more than that too. I don't know, he peeves me. I don't know why he peeves me. Maybe it's because when I read the book the first time, he was described as like this 500, 800-year-old man. So I was imagining him dying with a beard, but I figured that they're like really hot when they're like 800 years old in this book or whatever. Like I literally envisioned him as like a really old wizard. But now he's being described as like the love of a 20-year-old's life. And it's throwing me off. It's really throwing me off. Nonetheless, I'm gonna go nightbane it up and continue learning about the wonderful world of whatever is happening. I don't know what just happened. Like, I legitimately don't understand. I don't care about Skyshade right now. Am I done? Is there a... No, I'm done. I'm lost. I'm lost. I'm confused. I feel like I need to watch a what is that called? A recap. I feel like I need to watch a recap on the book that I literally just finished because I don't really understand. And why so many things in the last chapter and a half? That was shit. Can I say that? I should not be this confused by finishing a book that I am pretty dang sure is considered a young adult read. And I do want to preface this by saying I'm not stupid, okay? Like, I promise, no, it's young adult fiction. I don't think I'm stupid. But this is the first book that I genuinely have, like, not understood. I'm gonna try to break this down, and maybe someone out there can help me and see what I'm not understanding. So, spoilers, if you don't want to hear about Light Luck by Alex Astor, don't watch until this. Don't let me process. So Oral likes Issa, or Isla, however the heck you say your name. I just say the girl. I literally don't know how to say her name. Grim likes her. She likes both of them because of fucking course. Oral pisses me off, and the fact that he's just there. And then there's Grim who has me giggling my feet and kicking, and I like him. Okay, but he marries her. Why does he have to marry her though? Was that a choice that they both made? Why did Miss Isla why did she pick, why? I understand that she borrowed his power because they're in love in the past, so she could go to the Drakes. What are those? Whatever they are, she tried to stop them with him when they were in his land. Sure, fine, whatever. She's in love and stupid. I think this is the stupidest main character I've ever had to deal with. But fine, it makes sense. Sure. She uses the sword, which shortens her own life, or she used too much power or whatever, so she dies. But then Grimm brings her back to life by tying her life to his, which is why she didn't die in book 1 right away in the forest with the Vindicators. Because, what are they called? They're on, are they on Moon Isle? Where do they even live? Vinderland territory. The Vindicators. I like Minecraft. When they shot her in the heart with an arrow, she didn't die right away because of that. Not because she's fucking magical. No. Grimm is utterly obsessed and in love with this girl, and she pisses me off. Anyways, she's now alive, and then instead of Grimm putting the necklace on her right when they got married, she got her memory erased and then went into Lightlark. We go into Lightlark, we do the thing, she gets the necklace. He says it's as a little protection thingy, which it is, but also, like, it's marriage. It's essentially a marriage contract. Bonding. Sure. Which she doesn't know until now. But she knew it in the past. The Drakes are coming to this Lightlark Island and destroying it for funsies? And why did they leave a world to go to another one? Why are we bringing time travel into this, or space travel? That's where I'm lost. Why? I understand Cleo's thing to get her son back. She's a mom, she's grieving. I don't care how old she is. That shit hurts. That one makes sense. Grimm wanting to do it so that if he dies, she doesn't die. That also makes sense to me. And then the wildlings make sense because they've killed a lot of their own people because of the curse. So that all makes sense to me. Sure, fine, whatever. But why did the Drakes come and destroy Lightlark Island? Did they just get bored of only doing it to Night Island? What is it called? Not Nightbane. That's the title of the book. Nightland? Land? Everything else is called Isle. And then it's Nightshade. Of course it is. Sure, Nightshade. And why are they there? And they came out in Grimland because the curses. Why did they form a new land to begin with? Or a whole new world? A whole new world. Why would they form a whole new world? I don't like the time travel. I think that's really where my hang-up is. That's 100% where my hang-up is the time travel. Okay, cool. Now I know how to talk about it without spoiling anything. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. I am now going to refer to the time travel as the thing. Okay, I've sorted my brain, and I think I figured out my issue. I'm not dumb. I understand it. I just don't like it. I don't like it. There is this thing or the thing that happens in this book that completely freaking changes the entirety of how I thought this world functioned and was formed. That is what my hang-up is. I'm not dumb. I understand all of the character stuff that's going on here. It's the thing that was brought into this book that is confusing the absolute crap out of me. I don't know why we chose to go in that direction. I don't like it. If I would have known that this series was going to involve that, I probably wouldn't have picked it up. Not because I don't like the thing as a whole, but because this is a fantasy. And I have never in my life read a fantasy book where the thing is involved. Science fiction? Sure. Literally other genres. I've read it in other genres, but it tells you. It tells you going in that you're going to be dealing with that. And I had enough of a hard time going back and forth between main girl's past and then main girl's present. If you bring in the other thing, the thing, I'm confused as hell. And that's the issue. The issue is that it doesn't need to be there. It doesn't need to be there. And for them to have for it, it makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. Why didn't they just have a conversation? Like, I understand that, like, night bad, day happy. Like, sure, but these are rulers who are thousands of years old. Why didn't they have a conversation? Just have conversations. Wow. This was truly something. It was an absolute monstrosity, but I don't know what to rate it. I don't know what to rate it right now. We're gonna play a game called I'm gonna give this book a rating, and I'm gonna see how I feel about the book, and if the book is giving me sad puppy eyes when I give it that rating. I'm gonna give you 2 stars. Oh, that was quick. Yeah, 3 feels too high. 3 is like an average book. Like, I liked it. It was fine. It would be the first book I would recommend. I would not recommend this to anyone unless they were looking for this specific thing. And I don't even know what they're going to do with that because we only barely learn about it in the end of book 2. And nothing happened in the first, 150 pages of this book. Nothing progressive. I don't like it. It's a 2. It's getting 2 from me, which I am honestly surprised by because I was enjoying myself. And I read this in 3 days. This is a 400-page book. And I read it in 3 days as my second book coming back to reading. Like, that's crazy to me. And I'm giving it 2 stars. I'm giving it 2. I just kind of can't. There's too much stuff that happens in the last 10 pages. And sure, it's like the jaw drop effect. But could we have spread them out into the first 150 pages where nothing was happening? Oh my god. Pacing is also an issue. Yeah. Final thoughts on Nightbane. 2 out of 5 stars. this hurts my head. And not in like a way, in a way. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to bed. Alrighty, book friends. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Thursday. So, we obviously finished Nightbane by Alex Astor last night, and my feelings on it are still remaining relatively the same. I did not like this book. I liked, the story continuing, but I don't like it. I don't like it. So it is staying at its 2-star rating. I know it's kind of weird, especially with me coming back into reading. I thought that I would like it, just period. But no, I think I like the feeling of reading again. That's why I was so, intrigued. And now that I am coming back into reading, I'm trying not to be in the middle of 18 million books at once, which is really funny because I still have, 7 books open in my Goodreads, but I'm trying not to do that when picking up new books. So, nonetheless, here we are. Nightbane. It's done. We're progressing in the series. The next book in this series is Skyshade, and then there is Crown Tide. So I have 2 left in that series, and then that one will be officially done, which is important for me to keep in mind because we're trying to leave 2026 with only 1 or 2 open series, I believe, and that one is not going to be one of them. However, I do not want to pick up the next book in the series right now. I need a break. I need to just, solidify what happened in my brain before I move on and get more information that's going to make it even more confusing. And through reading this, I've decided that I'm in the mood for a romance book. And following that same in the middle of series situation, I picked up Stolen Heir by Sophie Lark. This is the second book in the Brutal Birthright series, and I really can't remember what happens in Brutal Prince all that much. But these are interconnected standalones, so I don't really think it matters to the biggest extent. I do remember about the 2 rival families, and I have a feeling this is going to follow one of the siblings from one family, but I don't know what's going to happen with the other person. I kind of understand what's happening, and I don't think it's that important for me to go back and reread Brutal Prince because I have a feeling they'll tell me everything I need to know in here. If not, and if I'm wrong about that, we're going to find out later. But for right now, I know what we're doing. So Stolen Heir by Sophie Lark is the next book I'm going to be picking up. But I do have some actual work I need to do first. I just really wanted to give you a update now that I'm awake. A little bit more conscious with the thoughts that are coming out of my mouth. So hopefully it won't be tonight when you see me again, but Stolen Heir by Sophie Lark is going to be what we pick up next. In the first approximately 2 hours of me reading Stolen Heir by Sophie Lark, I am 60% of the way through it. Maybe a little bit less. Maybe 50. When I stay up really late for the 3rd night in a row reading, and it's a whole new book, and I end up 50% of the way through the book, in only 2 hours of reading, that's how you know it's a good book, dude. It's a good book. I forgot how much I love mafia romance until I picked up Stolen Heir by Sophie Lark. I am losing my mind. If it wasn't clear, I was up super late reading last night until literally 2 o'clock in the morning. Finally fell asleep, woke up at 4, was thinking about the book, me and my cat snuggled, went back to bed, woke up at 7, fed the cat because he was hungry, came back to bed with the intentions of going back to sleep, but then I'm can't do it because all I was thinking about was this book. I was thinking about the book that hard that I couldn't sleep. So I got myself up, I took a shower, and now we are here, and we are going to finish Stolen Heir by Sophie Lark, and this is going to be my reading for the day. I don't care that it's the morning, and I normally read at night. Maybe I'll start another one tonight. I probably won't, but maybe I will. I just need to finish this, and I need to finish it right now, and it's I literally don't even want to talk about it with you. I just want to finish the book. And because I spent so long yesterday filming me time-lapsing reading this, my phone's almost dead. It's at 2% as I'm filming this. So I'm going to go charge my phone, and I'm going to finish reading Stolen Heir by Sophie Lark, and we're gonna come back, and then we're gonna talk about it. But I genuinely just want to finish this book. I will let you know though, right now, this is feeling like a 3.5, 4-star read, okay? That's all you get. Let me go finish it, and we'll reconvene again. Alright, my book friends, it is very clearly many hours later, as it is now dark outside again. Need proof? The sun is gone. But I finished Stolen Air this morning, and I have a whole story to tell you about the journey of me reading this, then we need to talk about it. So obviously this morning when you saw me, I was absolutely delusional, out of my mind, talking about how much I loved reading this last night and how I just needed to finish it this morning. I was seriously thinking about it so much that that is all I could do with my life is finish this book, but the second that I finished it, I was logging it in my little reading apps, because I have two, because I'm an over-the-top person, and I fell asleep sitting up in my bed. I had a good probably 10-15 minute power nap like that, realized what happened, shimmied myself back down in my bed a little more, and took an hour nap. By the time I woke up, I had to go do adult things because I unfortunately cannot just sit in bed and read all day, but I did finish Stolen Air by Sophie Like, and I loved it. It got me through the night, it got me through physical exhaustion, it got me through mental exhaustion, and it is the reason that I am still up right now is because I am genuinely still riding the reading high. Did I only read 2 books this week when my normal previous to my book slump was like 4 or 5? Yes. However, 2 books in a week. You know who would think I was crazy right now? Me in the summer. Me literally 4 weeks ago, honestly. Maybe even 3. 2 would be pushing it, but 3 would definitely be out there. So a very big thank you to Stolen Air, because if I didn't pick up a good book, I really think that reading slump would have snuck back up on me again, but no, it didn't, and I liked this. This was good. I gave it 3.5 stars. And we're starting with the rating, because I don't think we have talked a lick about this book, so let's back it up. I read the first book in the Brutal Birthright series this past year. I read it in 2025, I believe February of 2025. I could not tell you a singular thing that happened in that book, because the more that I think about it, the more that I realized anything that I really read in 2025 doesn't exist in my brain. Like, the memory is actually gone, which is actually really sad to me, because I read a lot of really good books that I loved, and I can remember bits and pieces of them, but I can't remember all of them. I was literally scrolling Book Talk today and saw a video about Ruthless Vows and Divine Rivals, and I got shot through the heart because of how much I love those ones. Like, I could tell you every single detail that happened in those 2 books, and then looked it up on my Goodreads, and I only rated them 4s and 4.5s, because apparently that's not a 5-star read, but me right now would call that a 5-star read. Anyways, now what we were talking about. I think the whole point for me is that I lost a lot of, I think, how my memory works. I think I lost it when I stopped reading, which I know sounds like really crazy, and I could just be speculating here, but because I have a lot of mental illness and I am mildly dyslexic, I do think that consistent reading helps with my memory, probably more than the average person, because obviously reading helps with memory, right? That's like common fact. Anywho, it's just really sad, and I needed to talk about it, is honestly why I brought it up, but I can't remember a lot of my 2025 reads. And that was important when going into this, because Brutal Prince, once again, was read in early 2025, and it's gone. It's gone in my brain. I did not go back and reread Brutal Prince. I didn't even pull it off my shelf to like skim it, because it was a romance, and if I sat for a little bit and like really thought about it, I could remember what I thought were the key details in there. Italian mob, Irish mob, they get married. Duh. I figured it out. And it did turn out that I didn't need to know a whole bunch more than that. There was a couple of things that they referenced from book 1, because in here we see reoccurring characters from book 1, and then bringing in some side characters from Brutal Prince into like the limelight of this book to being the center of attention. So I did lose some names in there and had to relearn names and what the relationship was to certain people in a certain scene, that I was like, I forgot that totally happened. I totally forgot that happened, and I had to like re-kick it in my memory. But once I like read it and hear of like the little and this happened, I'm like, oh yeah, and that happened. Like, I just need that little bit for my brain to be like, oh right, I do remember. I do actually comprehend the words that I read, and they stay in my brain for more than 2 minutes. But once I figured my stuff out from Brutal Prince, Stolen Air was a hell of a ride. I really think that when I was reading this last night, I was kind of under a little bit of delusion and sleep deprivation, like book loving syndrome, because when I woke up, I realized that for the first bit of this book, it very much feels like Stockholm Syndrome. Not spoiling anything, the back literally says it, but our main dude kidnaps our main girl, and she compares it a lot to a Beauty and the Beast type situation, and honestly, that is what it is. Kind of, but not really. It's not like the fairy tale at all, but she calls Miko her beast. And I just, oh my god, I can't stop. I do love the main characters in this book, and I love the side characters, obviously. I'm a big fan of the series. Although I will say that in the beginning, what's Nessa? Yeah, Nessa kind of did piss me off a little bit. In the first probably like 100 pages of this book, she is consistently describing herself, and the main male character is describing her as like the baby of the family. She's very sheltered, she doesn't know anything, she feels all these emotions, she's not trained for the mafia business and everything like that. And I'm like, okay, cool, we get it, move on, please, 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 please. Like, that would be the only critique that I would have regarding probably anything, is that it was just a little too much like literal baby. Not even Vanessa, it's Nessa, little baby Nessa. And she's, how old was she, 19? She's my age. I'm not gonna finish that thought. I definitely could not survive in the mafia, so I'm not gonna finish that thought. But nonetheless, and maybe it's because I'm the same age as Nessa, I'm like, I'm a big, but like, no, I feel like she was just subscribed. Oh my god. Described as this like meek little thing, and then all of a sudden 360 switch, and she's eavesdropping on their conversations and figuring out what's going on, and forming this connection with Miko. And it was kind of like a 180, but that was really it, I think. Oh, and there was a couple of like weird transitions in here towards like this, a little bit after halfway, like this part of the book, of like where Miko did a certain thing. I don't want to actually spoil anything, but Miko did something with Nessa, and then she read it back, and it felt like a weird flow. I don't know why it felt like a weird flow. Like it makes sense, but it just felt odd. Like Miss Sophie was like, I want the book to do this and this and this, and the points were good and the points were there, like the main four, like it makes sense. But then the like the flow position from like 3 to 4 is a little bit like, why did it happen that way? But I don't know. I could just be thinking too much. Or maybe I'm not thinking enough. I truly have no idea, because it is once again like 11:30 at night and I'm talking about a book. I have so much other stuff that I need to be doing with my life. Like, genuinely, but I am falling back down the reading rabbit hole, and I'm not mad. I'm not even disappointed. I'm losing sleep. I'm losing a lot of sleep. But like I said, Stolen Air by Sophie Lark is getting a 3.5 out of 5 stars from me. I loved it very much. If I had any of the other books in the series, I probably would be picking them up next, but I don't, so I picked a different book. which I am going to tell you what my next read is going to be. However, we are not going to read it together because it is Friday and it's the end of our time together. But I think this would be kind of funny, because this book that I'm picking up, I am filming a reading vlog specifically for this book. And the day that I'm filming this, the outro to the Stolen Air book week video, it is January 2nd. And I have a feeling I'm going to be reading this all the way through freaking January, but I am picking up A Court of Mist and Fury. I am picking up a 627-page novel, which is just book 2 in the series, that book 1 I didn't even love that much. What am I doing? What compelled me to pick this up next? I really couldn't tell you. I was sitting there looking at my shelves, and I'm like, I don't really know yet. I don't really know. And I kept thinking about it all day. I'm like, what do I want to pick up next? What do I want to pick up next? And my brain kept coming back to A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. And I have no good reason to pick this up, but this is going to be the next book that I read. And it's probably going to take me a million years to read. Or it's going to send me back into reading slump, which is also a really stupid reason to pick it up right now, because I just got out of a reading slump, and this might send me back into it. I'm so dumb. But I get to go find out whether or not Accord Akamoff, is that what this one's called, is going to send me back into a reading slump over the next couple weeks. But this is probably not the next reading vlog y'all will see for me. Just a little sneak peek of the future. Anyways, thank you guys so much for hanging out and reading with me this week. To say that I am excited to get back into reading again and feel the love for it again would be an understatement. I feel like I just climbed Mount Everest, although Mount Everest does not scare me because of the amount of dead bodies up there and the people who climb it, and they're like, oh, it's a big thing, but actually it makes me feel really disgusting because we're leaving dead people on mountains. And I know it's like the thing that they knew when they go up there they were going to die, but it's like, I don't feel right about the whole Mount Everest situation. So maybe instead I'm just seeing the Eiffel Tower for the first time. I don't know any bad trauma with that, please don't give me any. But until next Wednesday, I hope that your guys' book worlds are treating you just as well as mine are treating me. And I hope you stay safe, beautiful, happy, and healthy until that day comes. Toodles.